The following production is produced by the State University of New York College at Oneonta.
Good evening and welcome to this week's edition of Inside Red Dragon Sports. I'm your host, Geoff Hassard, Assistant Director of Athletics and Sports Information Director here at SUNY Oneonta. And tonight we've invited in members of the women's track and field team along with head coach Matt Lopiccolo. So please stay tuned after the break, where I'll be joined by tonight's first guest, Matt Lopiccolo.
What makes D3 special is the ability to participate in my team and within the broader community.
The perfect ending to a perfect season.
Being a D3 student athlete has completely expanded my life.
I learned how to lead. I really found a voice.
What time is it?
It's more about the experience rather than just a sport itself.
Without the experience of being a Division III student athlete, I wouldn't be the person who I am today.
NCAA Division III. Discover, develop, dedicate.
Welcome back to the show. Joining me now is head men's and women's track and field coach Matt Lopiccolo. Welcome to the studio.
Thanks, Jeff.
We have a new studio. We have a new backdrop.
It's beautiful.
Part of our Division III initiative buying that we could, each school gets a $1,000 grant, and so we went and got a couple of nice media backdrops. So hopefully everybody likes the new.
I hope it makes me look better.
Yeah. So anyway, you're head track and field coach now. Of course, this is your 11th year, right, with us at Oneonta?
That's correct. Started the track and field program back in 2003, and we've grown leaps and bounds, and was able to bring in another full-time coach, and Mike Schmidt at the time, and he took over track, and we've kind of moved on from there, and now I'm back in that role as well. So it's exciting.
Well, now you started as both. You were head cross-country and track and field coach, and of course the track and field was a great move forward for us to be able to attract some higher caliber, probably cross-country runners that we might have not have gotten before. How's that transition gone from, kind of not doing the cross-country so much and coming over to track?
Well, I mean, a lot of the day-to-day stuff is the same. It's more of a change in title and that kind of thing. Bringing in Lopiccolo to coach cross-country as the head coach has been awesome. But that being said, it's not like he just coaches distance runners. He was doing a heck of a job, with our horizontal jumps and with our throwers as well. So he's a very diverse coach, and that certainly helps the program tremendously. And it's given me an opportunity to essentially be the orchestrator of everything in terms of track and field practice. It's funny, today I was Tracy Ranieri stopped down to practice, and I was kind of directing things here with the distance runners and the little minute distance runners, the hurlers coming through. So it's given me an opportunity to be more of a director role, which is good. Right.
Now, before we get too much more into track, we just want to talk a little bit about the fall event that we had here. Certainly a great event for us, the cross-country regional championships. Could you just talk a little bit about that, what it meant to the college? And
certainly. I mean, it's been a vision of mine to bring the first round of the NCAA championships here for a few years now. We have a beautiful course out at Fortin Park, capable of hosting 200-plus runners on each side in the race. We're in a central location in New York and New Jersey within the Atlantic region, so everybody had a 4-hour drive at most, which is good. I felt like we should put on something like this. And it just went off without a hitch. Everything was perfect. The weather was phenomenal, which was always a concern. You roll the dice in mid-November, but just our support from all aspects of the campus, it was amazing, from UPD with the parking and the administration with you and Brian and Tracy. Everything just was phenomenal. So I couldn't have asked for a better situation that we had. Right,
premier event. Certainly NCAA, anytime you host an event like that is a great thing to do for the program. And
it was a great thing for the town as well. I mean, Tracy and I pushed some numbers, and we brought a lot of, economic stimulus to the town in terms of the hotels and the restaurants, and, over 2,000 people coming to the area for that meet was great for the town as well.
Right. No, and so that was certainly great. I'm sure we'll probably be in the running to get it back here again, probably in the future.
Hopefully in a few years.
Yeah.
I mean, It was great because Angela was the head track coach, so I could take on more of an administrative role in the NCAA regional for cross country. So we're going up to St. Lawrence next year. They'll do a great job as well. But the next major cross-country championship will be the SUNY Championships in 2013. So we get that every 2 years. We hosted that back in 2003. So that'll be the next one. It'll only be 10 teams, not 40.
Well, we certainly want to thank you for bringing it to the bringing it to the area. And again, we look forward to doing those kinds of events anyway. So
absolutely.
Track and field. You were talking a little bit about practice, kind of orchestrating. Of course, we have our own, I guess, makeshift track inside of our gymnasium. It's worked out pretty well. I mean, obviously our performances have shown through the years with our All-Americans, national champions, that it really doesn't, I mean, yes, we'd like to have a great indoor track facility, but as far as, the talent of the kids that we have, I mean, talk about how that all works.
Well, having the alumni, the Dewar Arena is a great space for us. We can do everything that we need to in order to get the job done on Saturdays. We actually have a ton of rollout runways, and we sprint with spikes on. I've marked out 150 meters on the gym floor, so we do a lot of workouts there with a middle distance on up. We roll out the AstroTurf for the throws. We have a pole vault box for the pole vaulters. We pull out our high jump mats. We can do everything except really host a meet.
Right.
And we certainly make use of the jogging track upstairs, the treadmills in the fitness center. So we use every piece of equipment that we can on campus. Obviously, getting over to the Chase to the free weight room as well.
Right.
So we put a lot of different things to work, and a lot of times it's a juggling act, but it actually stimulates some creativity on the coaching staff, so we get to do things a different way and approach things a different way, which can foster even better ideas coming out of our office. So.
Now, what do we have? 5 assistant coaches, including Angelo, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Angela and I are full-time.
Yeah.
Eric Thies, who obviously works with you in sports information, is assistant coach. And then we have a handful of volunteers. Joe Reed, a national champion, who'll be on next week with you. And then it's kind of the family affair here. My wife Amanda helps out with the distance runners. My mom Barb helps out with the throwers. Spike Prani is doing a heck of a job with the high jumpers. And Dave Forbes helps out with the pole vault as well. So.
Wow. So, I mean, I guess with coordinating all that, they all kind of practice at different times. I mean, obviously you can't be, everybody going at once. How does that work?
Having a facility for 4 hours in the middle of the day has been huge for us, and to be able to split groups so everybody gets a 2-hour segment, kind of overlapping a little bit, it works out pretty well in terms of getting 70 people through the facility to get their workout in, especially with such a diverse event groups that we have. So it works out pretty well, and we stagger it, and then we get on to recruiting after 3 o'clock every day. So.
Right. Now, with that kind of a staggered scheduling of practices, it also probably allows yourself and Angelo to kind of have a little free roaming to be able to, look at the kids and how they're performing, how they're practicing. Maybe you have some input.
We're great. Well, we're really big on individual attention, and that's kind of why we stagger things as we do. So we provide as much individual attention as possible. It is tough with 70 people to do that, but when we do stagger it, it does work out a lot better that way. And when you can talk to Sarah a little bit later, I'm sure she'll comment on how important that is in a technical event like the weight throw and the shot put. So she's actually gets first dibs on the facility at 11 a.m. every day.
Yeah.
So we just try to. It's all about individual attention and getting everybody better individually, and thus the whole team will be better.
So now, when you're out on the recruiting trail and you have kids come to campus, and obviously we're recruiting all year long, and you'll have people come in during a practice day or something like that. Well, what kinds of things do you tell them? I mean, they probably go in the gym and think, doesn't look like a track. You know what I mean? Like, so.
I say, well, it's just organized chaos here, in event groups, and we just tried to talk about specifics on what they would be doing and where they would be fitting in the facility and fitting in with the event groups and who they'd be working out with. And along those lines, we talk about the whole picture too of the college. Meet with a professor from their major that they're interested in, meeting with admissions, giving them a individual tour of our facilities, and going up to the Hunt Union and the library and so on and so forth, and then kind of culminating that by eating a meal with the team members, so they can get that point of view, so they can understand that that's what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
And I think that goes a long way.
Now when you're looking at someone from high school, I mean, they might be a superstar, or maybe they're just kind of average? I mean, is it easier for you to develop someone, or is it just like, let's get the studs and hope for the best?
Well, we've kind of made a living in this program off development. Obviously, when you start track and field from scratch, you're not going to get studs knocking down your door in year one. So it had to be development from the beginning. And now as we get better athletes that are starting to knock on the door, our level that we can develop them goes a notch higher. And that's what's exciting about it right now, is that we're kind of evolving into a new level of things, and our numbers are great, and we're just really trying to fill in with quantity of quality.
Right.
And that's kind of the direction we're going right now.
Right. Now, when we look at how last year in indoor, our women placed third and our men finished fourth. Is that kind of where you see us this year? Do you think we can move up?
It's obviously we hope to move up, but one of the main goals is that we kind of preach to the team is not to worry about what everybody else is doing, because we can't control who goes into this institution and so on and so forth. We can control what each person does individually. Right. And if each person on the team gets better, and our freshmen and transfers get better and start contributing right away, that means we're ultimately better. And we can score more points and go from there, and hopefully move up in the standings in the SUNY. Having the entire women's team back from last year that scored points puts us in a good position to do that. And as a matter of fact, I just got the regional rankings out today, the first one of the year, and we're ranked 7th in the region, which is pretty good, and we're a second SUNY school at the moment. And a lot of that's before we've run and competed in our major events. People have doing off-event stuff to prepare for the main events in the upcoming weeks prior to the SUNY.
Is that how it works? I was going to ask. Like Lauren Brunetto, who is an All-American 800 runner. She runs a 500 one week, and she'll run a 400 the next week, and maybe something like that.
If you look at what Lauren in particular and what Liz Majeka, All-American, the hurdles outdoors are doing right now, they're running below their main events. Obviously, Liz is going to end up at the 4, Lauren's going to end up at the 8, but they've been running down events to work on speed, multiple events to work on endurance, to get ready to that point. So when we go to Boston University, our big qualifying opportunity in a few weeks, we're going to be ready to go. Right. And that's kind of how we operate the program. Everything's a process, and that's kind of the staple of things right now. We're in the middle of the process, certainly.
Right. Now, because you want them to peak at the right time, and that would be for your, obviously the conference championships, you'd like to see not your full peak, but you'd like to see pretty close to what you think they would.
Certainly. I mean, we have a 4-week block where we have we go to Boston University, get on a 200-meter bank track. The following week, we go down to the Armory in New York, get another 200-meter bank track. Then we have the conference meet, and then we have ECACs back at the Armory. So there's a 4-week block there that we have a good opening to hit qualifying marks against great competition. And it's kind of the schedule's worked out really well in our favor. So we're going to really plan to peak in those phases, run fast at SUNY and try to score some points, throw far, jump high, and then go down to the Armory after that and try to hit our NCAA marks. So
now let's look at each team thus far. Any maybe surprises, or who are the top performers right now? We'll talk a little bit about the men first before we get into the women.
Sophomore Dustin Cox is coming in great form so far in the high jump. He just missed his PR last weekend up at St. Lawrence, and we're looking for him to take a shot at the provisional mark in that. He's actually hurling really well in addition to that, so it's a great mark for us. Like I said, the middle distance runners are starting to get into their main events, so we expect them to come around soon. Senior Tim Greenberg is actually running pretty well. We've kind of moved him to an event group that's a little shorter for him, and he's actually doing real well in the 400 right now, heading towards the 8. Let's see here. Sprints, we're hoping, Darrell Cull, All-American from last year, is going to be opening up this weekend and going from there. So we'll see what happens with that. So we definitely have some potential, and like I said, we're getting into the main events now.
Right. Now, on the women's side, certainly, Casey Boberka this past, meet up at St. Lawrence makes a provisional qualifying mark. I mean, she certainly is a great athlete, as we know anyway. She plays volleyball for us, and she certainly has quite ability as a volleyball player.
Certainly a very talented athlete and a fierce competitor, and I think that's what got her this early to hit the NCAA mark in the high jump. Potential was there, but I didn't expect it this soon, so it's actually a nice surprise, and hopefully she can go a little bit higher and kind of secure her spot in the NCAA meet in a few weeks.
She's not that far from the auto
No, she's not. 5 centimeters from the auto.
Because she did she jumped 166.
She cleared 166, which was the provisional mark, and then she had 3 good attempts at 169, which we figured would get into the NCAA meet.
Right.
So it was really good. So we can't argue with that. What's going on there? And freshman jumper Corey Hamm and Michelle Chartrand in the horizontal jumps are doing great. Welcoming some seniors back into the mix from injuries in the past. Obviously, you're going to talk to Kristin a little bit, so it's great to have her back. And we're very senior oriented with 4 great sprinters on the senior side of things. So along with her and Connie Belkovich, Kristen Cantney's, and Liz Majeka. So we're lucky to have that quadjumprint, I guess would be the
right. Well, even though we are kind of in the middle of the season, the end of the season comes pretty quickly. And we know, like you said, the training program here has proven us out in the past that people are ready to go when it comes time for the big meets, as you say, and certainly we hope that we get as many national qualifiers as possible, because we certainly have made it's traditional now. It is.
Yes,
it's part of our tradition to send somebody to nationals. So we wish you good luck, and we thank you for coming by tonight.
All right. Thanks a lot, Geoff.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank Coach Matt Lopiccolo for coming by tonight. And after the break, I'll be joined by junior Sarah Timmons.
My pot of gold, your daddy's little girl, till heaven home.
It's easy to tell if you've had way too many. But what if you've had just one too many? Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back to the show. Joining me now is junior track and field athlete Sarah Timmons. Welcome to the show, Sarah.
Thanks for having me.
Why don't you tell us where you're from and what you're majoring in here at Oneonta?
I'm from Schodack Landing, a small town south of Albany. I am a bio major here, and I'm pre-physical therapy.
Pre-physical therapy. So obviously you're trying to you're going to go on to PT school. And
that's the plan.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that do you think that's a tough field to break into? Do you think?
Yeah, it's a promising field. I've heard a lot of jobs in it, so it's competitive. Yeah. So we'll see how I'm doing.
Now, do you help out in our training room with our athletic trainers?
I would like to next year when I do an internship, hopefully there or at Fox Hospital. See which one I can get into, and I like Danielle, so maybe there.
Yeah, no, we have a good crew. We have a good crew, and I know she loves having the kids come in. So hopefully it'll work out for you.
Yeah.
Let's see. You are you've kind of made an impact right from your freshman year as one of you're our top thrower, female thrower. You're a SUNY champion. I guess now the next thing is try and get to the nationals.
That's what we're hoping for.
Yeah, and what I mean, in the indoor you do the shot put and the weight throw. Outdoors, discus, hammer, javelin.
Yep.
Now, out of all those events, because there are a lot of them, which one is actually your favorite?
Well, my all-time favorite is discus. Okay. That's what I love the most. But indoor, I like weight more than shot. So. Yeah.
Now, the training. Take us through a typical training day or a training week for you.
We have long practice. We usually throw in the gym for 1.5 to 2 hours. Then we usually go over to chase and lift, which is another hour and a half usually. And we usually consider eating part of practice for us. So it's usually a lot of volume. We usually throw 15, 20 times a day. And we have 1 day of recovery.
Okay. Now, obviously you just said that, it's like a 3-hour time commitment. How do you find balancing that? Because, of course, track season starts in October, you know what I mean? And it goes all the way till May.
Yeah.
How do you balance all that with your academic work? Because you are a good student as well. So.
I mean, it's hard, but I find that the more work I have, the more things I have going on, the better I do. The more time I have that I can allot for homework, and I know I have to do this within an hour and a half tonight, so it just gives me more of a time frame that I have to do stuff.
Now, when you're throwing, would you throw the shot put and the weight on the same day?
Yeah, okay. Generally, there's very few meets that I don't throw both, especially in outdoor. When we have 2-day meets, I'll do all 4 events, which is it's a lot, but I really love it. So
now, when you're practicing, would you throw? Would you concentrate on just one day and then the next day?
It depends. In the past 2 years, generally we do one day, one day, one the other day. But this year, recently, we've been doing both on one day, which is a little different than normal, but it's going well.
Now, do you find that your results are better so far this year?
Yeah, I PR'd by quite a bit at the first St. Lawrence meet. I'm inching closer to the provisional mark, which is nice to see. These past 2 meets haven't been as good, but I had a good practice this week, so hopefully this weekend will be good.
Now, you've won SUNY champ with the younger people that come into the program, because of course we just lost Kevin Harding, you know, who was going to compete for us. But hey, I mean, he got his life goals as well, which is great. What's that like? You're kind of the leader of the weight throwers, male and female, right?
Yeah, it's been an interesting transition. Kevin definitely helped a lot with everything, and Steph Gordon and Mike DeVasto before. So, I mean, I've been getting slowly trained into it, so it's kind of like a natural role for me, though. So. Okay,
so you enjoy being a leader. And I lead by example or vocal?
Definitely, well, both, I would say. I would say I'm more of a quiet leader, but I try to show by example and do the right things and help people out when they need it.
Right, because part of the training regimen, you know, you said is the lifting and stuff like that, but it's also nutritional, and I know that the track and field program really does a great job of explaining to the people who are in the program, the athletes, you know, this is what you need to be doing. I mean, so how do you manage that as well with the kinds of things you should be doing, training, eating?
Well, Angelo has been a big help this year. He's first-year coach here. You know, there's been a lot of really smart kids that have come through the throws program especially, and they've built kind of what we need to do, how we need to do things, which has been really great. So I haven't had to do a lot of work with it. I just remember what people have told me and just tell the new people how we do things, and it's working very well so far.
And it really does become continuity, because I know, you know, like Matt mentioned earlier on the show, his mother's been here, I think, since almost the beginning. I mean, as our throws coach, and certainly having that continuity of somebody who, A, is good herself as a masters thrower, national champion. I mean, does that help as well, having someone who you know is that good and that particular as a coach?
Yeah, Barb has been a great role model for me, especially. I mean, I talked to her over the summer, just asking her about, you know, what she's doing, how she's doing, and everything. She helps a lot with, I think, the emotional aspect of throwing and the, you know, getting into the head of the competition and stuff like that. So she's been great. And then Angelo obviously helps a lot with the technique, and Barb's been great with Geoff. So
I mean, because it's not, I mean, I guess throwing you wouldn't consider, you know, a rah-rah kind of thing where people are throwing and you're, you know, like it's really more of a mental, you know, focus in, trying to, you know, perform and get that technique, you know, just right. To get that one good throw or that two good throws, because hey, it only takes one throw to win the national championship, right?
True, yeah.
And we certainly hope that you get there, and we hope, I know you're closer to getting to the provisional, and certainly we wish you good luck the rest of the way. You know, you got about 5 weeks left, and hopefully you'll be competing in mid-March.
I hope so.
Well, thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
All right, well, I'd like to thank Sarah Timmons for coming by this evening, and after the break, I'll be joined by senior Kristin Stein.
Hey, how's it going?
Sir, are you okay?
What? Oh, this? It's probably nothing. I'm sure it'll go away.
Go away? But, sir, that can't be good.
No, it's cool. Really.
Do you want a napkin or something?
Everything's fine. Thanks.
You wouldn't ignore this. So why ignore the signs of a stroke? At the first warning signs, call 911 immediately. Because time lost is brain lost.
Welcome back to the show. Joining me now is senior track and field athlete Kristin Stein. Welcome to the show, Kristin.
Thanks for having me.
Why don't you tell us where you're from and what you're majoring in here at Oneonta?
I'm from Gloversville, New York. It's an hour and a half away from here, and I'm majoring in professional accounting.
Professional accounting?
Yes.
What are you hoping to do with that?
I actually have a job in Syracuse, New York.
Good for you.
Yep, I got hired in November, so next year I will be moving there and starting in October.
And what exactly is the position? Is it for an accounting firm?
It's for a public accounting firm. I'm going to be a CPA. I'm actually going on the auditing side, so I'll be doing a lot of traveling.
I just hope that you don't audit me, right? Although maybe it might help me if I have to be audited. You've been with the track program you're going on your 5th year. You had an injury last year where you weren't able to compete. Can we talk a little bit about what the rehab process is like? Because, of course, you're a sprinter, which is a tough event anyway. You know, you got to be ready to go at all times. What was it like to rehab from your injury and really take a year, miss a year of competing?
It was an interesting experience. I did a lot of mid-distance kind of training my junior year, and it led me to be very successful, and I wanted to try cross-country to see if that would help me in the 4 and the 8. So I did a lot of training over the summer and hurt my shin. So the rehabilitation process was long. It was a little bit frustrating, but I mean, I still got to be a part of the team. I went to the meets, I went to practice, and actually competed and attached in a meet. So I was still a part of the team, but I'm glad to be back now and competing with them again.
Yeah, athletes have to compete.
Yeah.
And we're glad you're competing.
Yeah.
What's it like to be a leader? I mean, a leader in our program.
I think that it's very fun, I guess. When I came onto the track team, there were some great leaders that kind of just took me under their wing and just basically said, you're never too young to be a leader. They showed me the right things to do. And ever since then, it just kind of came naturally. You do the right things, and the freshmen that want to do well, they just pick up and kind of, you take them under your wing, and they follow you by example.
Right. Now, doing the right thing is really the things that are preached in our track and cross-country programs. And do you think that comes from our coaching staff? I mean, how do they pass it on to our leaders and then we can pass it on to the younger?
Oh, absolutely. It starts at the top, and I mean, they definitely provide you with like the tools to be a good leader. We just finished preseason where they basically just laid out everything that you can do to be successful. There's no secrets. They tell you everything, and it's up to the individual. If you want to be successful, you'll train hard, you'll eat right, you'll recover, and then it'll show on the track.
Now, as much as it is a team sport, you have to score points to win bigger meets as a team. But it really does come down to an individual commitment from each member to make the team better.
Absolutely.
And how do you think, I mean, obviously we have very talented athletes on both sides, and our women's team has a lot of upperclassmen this year. How does that work with the newer kids that come into the program?
I think that the newer kids are really stepping up. Well, for the sprint sides, I know that we have a lot of upperclassmen, so it's very easy to teach them the right things to do, and they're not shy. They take right into it, and it makes practice fun, and it makes learning a lot of fun for them. But we also have a lot of freshmen in like the horizontal jumps that are just stepping right up and doing the right thing right away, and it's really exciting to see.
Now, any memorable experiences throughout your career here that maybe you could talk about? Just campus, I mean, why did you come to Oneonta in the first place?
I really loved the school. I came here and liked the campus. I liked how far it was from home, and I just fell in love with it. So.
Now, did you have an opportunity to spend time with some of the athletes when you were being recruited?
I didn't. I actually came here and thought I was going to try out for cross-country. So I came into the office one day because I saw signs there on campus that said cross-country tryouts, and went in there, and they kind of sat me down. They looked at times from high school and said, let's go a different route. So that's how I ended up being a sprinter.
Yeah. Now, well, but that's a great thing about track and field. If you do have some ability, and like within our program, because we have developed so many, athletes to get better and that, you could find a place in track and field in some event. I mean, I think that's the beauty of track and field, where there's 20 events to compete in outdoors and, almost that many in indoors. And you really can find a place, so I mean, it's for you coming in as an individual, certainly, finding a spot, and we're glad that that you did find a spot. Anything that you would pass on to anyone that's looking at this that might be looking at Oneonta?
I'd say make the most of it. I mean, the track and field experience has certainly helped my whole overall college experience, because when I came here, it was very easy to find friends that had similar interests. And one thing that the coaches preach to us is that it's a lifestyle, and it really became part of my lifestyle, because those are the people that I went to eat with and hung out with on a Friday night if we didn't have a meet. And I mean, they're some of my best friends now, so it really impacted my life in a positive way.
Now, and what does it mean to you to compete at the Division III level? I mean, we have the Division III NCAA has a new branding initiative, and they talk about being a student athlete. And what's it meant to you to be able to be a Division III student athlete?
I think it's given us a lot of good opportunities. I mean, it certainly teaches time management along with providing you the athletic experience. I mean, they say that a lot of people that compete in high school don't go on to the college level, so it's certainly a privilege to be here and use the facilities and learn all of the stuff that we've learned in the program.
And we know that you've had a successful career, and certainly it's not over because you still have quite a bit of time left between indoor and outdoor.
Yeah.
We certainly hope that we'll see you in the Nationals as well, in whatever event, as part of a relay, because those are certainly some of our stronger events as well. And thanks for coming by tonight.
Thank you for having me.
All right, good luck. I'd like to thank all my guests again, Kristin Stein, Sarah Timmons, and head coach Matt Lopiccolo for coming by tonight. And we'd like to remind you again that you can follow Oneonta State Athletics on the web at oneontaathletics.com. And we have a 24-hour sports hotline at 607-436-2425. And if you go to our website, certainly you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and you can catch any of the news and what's going on in our department. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time on Inside Red Dragon Sports.